My name's Mike Weilgart. I work for Vertical Sysadmin. It is a training and consulting company, and that's not what I'm here to talk about. I want to do a quick survey about flame wars. Who here prefers VI to Emacs? Most of the room. Who here prefers Emacs to VI? Okay. Who here prefers Firefox to Google Chrome? Okay. Who here prefers Google Chrome to Firefox? All right. Who here prefers Internet Explorer? No one's admitted. Oh.
That guy over there.
All right. What flame wars am I missing? Chromium. Okay, you prefer Chromium. All right, fair enough. Tabs to spaces. Who prefers tabs over spaces? Okay, who prefers spaces over tabs? Okay, who presses the tab key but has it type spaces into your editor? Yes, good. So there's a funny thing about flame wars, which is that some people take them very, very seriously, and some people get really, there's a reason why the XKCD forum for flame wars is called religious wars. Some people take them very, very seriously. And some people, like I do, look at them as sort of an entertaining form of recreation, right? Who prefers Python to Perl? All right, who prefers Perl to Python? Okay, it looks like Python's winning that. Sorry, guys. And ladies. So there's something that's interesting, and I realized this sometime in the last year about flame wars, and really most types of arguments. The more intense the argument is, you look at it, and it's very usual that the two people who are arguing the most, they have so much in common. And there's like this little tiny difference that they disagree on, and so they have to blow that up into a big, huge fight. So you get two people, and they're both developers, and they both, develop like web applications, but one of them uses a different editor. And so they fight about this. You won't find them fighting with like someone who works in construction on like pipe infrastructure for plumbing. It's just they're too dissimilar, right? So you look at an argument, it's between two people who have so many things in common. And just a tip, if you run into someone who takes this sort of thing really, really seriously, you just back off from the flame war part of it. You want to try and defuse the thing. Just talk about the things you have in common. Find something you both agree on, and you talk about that. It will diffuse it right on down. They'll go right into communication with you, and that's my advice. Now, there's another one. I don't know how many people in here have a preference at all about database management system? Okay, just a couple people. Well, I'll still ask, how many people prefer Postgres to MySQL? Okay, how many people prefer MySQL to, okay. Someone stood up just to raise their hand. How many people prefer MySQL to Postgres? Okay, a few people. And here's just a funny question. How many people here prefer Linux to Windows? How many people here prefer Windows to Linux and are bold enough to admit it to this audience?
That guy.
No, he just said an Internet Explorer. That's okay. I think it still runs on Mac, right? How many people here prefer more neutral, right? How many people here prefer Mac to Windows? Okay, how many people here prefer Windows to Mac? This is just out of curiosity. I want to see what the percentages are like. Okay, so there's three parts to understanding, and one of them is reality or agreement, and you want to find something that you agree on, and another part is affinity or how much you like someone, and when you like someone, it also has to do with consideration of space. You're going to be closer or farther. You want to be farther away from someone that you don't like. And then the third part is communication. You take these three parts, put them together, you get understanding. When you increase the agreement, you'll increase the communication. So if you want to talk to someone, find something you agree on, talk to them about that, and you maintain the high affinity by recognizing that there's something you can like about that person. And that's based on the works of L. Ron Hubbard. You can look it up, very useful in getting into communication with people. So that's just my tips on defusing flame wars, and it works on managers too. You find what you can agree on with them and talk about that, and hey, maybe you even don't get fired as a result. And that's all I got.
Big hand for Mike. Pass it on, Mike.
Started working on. It's called SIMP, S-I-M-P. It's available at simp-project.com. I actually just got a new job working for a company that develops SIMP and supports it, and it's called Onyx Point. If any of you happen to be in the market for that kind of thing, it does compliance, and so if if you're in an environment that's audited for DIST, PCI, SOX, et cetera, might be able to help you out. Okay, so now that I spent less than a minute talking about that, actually John inspired me to bring up something else. So I've been running Linux users group since 1994. Okay, I've been coming to this since I think the third one. So long time. I love talking to people. I love talking to people individually. I love talking in front of groups. Okay, it's second nature. I just love doing it, right? But for some reason, you put a microphone in my hand, and I am terrified, okay? I'm shaking up here right now. I don't know why. It's a phobia. It's a weird thing. What's even worse is getting up on a stage and having a microphone. Oh, my God. It's like end of the world kind of stuff. So actually, it was kind of funny because last year, I was working for another company. I wasn't real happy with my job, and so when lightning talks came up, I always do the lightning talks because I want to fight through this weird phobia that I've got. So when I got up to talk, I did a little talk that I called "You're Doing It Wrong," and some of you might remember it. I started to deliver it, and I realized really quickly that it sounded like a stand-up routine. I didn't go into it thinking that, okay? And so, okay, you know what's worse than when you've got a weird phobia about being on stage and having a microphone and stuff, to all of a sudden realize you're doing a stand-up act, okay? Oh my God, the wave of panic that hit me was incredible. Anyway, fought through it, did it, and at least a couple of people enjoyed it. So that was cool. But anyway, point of the story, moral of the story is, if public speaking makes you uncomfortable, all I can say is do it, okay? Find a friendly audience like this one and do it. If being in front of people with a microphone makes you shake like a leaf like I'm doing right now, do it. Fight through it. You will get better at it. It will help. I just always encourage people, just fight out of, get out of your comfort zone, fight through these things. And you'll be better off for it. And like I say, you can't ask for a more friendly audience than this place, okay? So that's it.
Big hand for Steve.
Okay, yes, my name is Eric Hudson, and I'm from Chicago. This year, I lost a longtime friend this year. He was 96 years old. Ever since I was a kid, I would visit him. I would visit him often. My parents thought that I spent too much time over there. I'd go there, and he'd even give me free batteries and stuff like that. I don't know. You guys maybe know him too. It was my local Radio Shack store. It's a shame that they've gone down now, especially with all the DIY maker movement market that's out there now, because you need a place to go and buy a freaking part when you're working on something, when you're really in and working on this thing, and you're like, and all I need is this freaking part, and I have to wait for it for a week to come in, or I have to wait 3 weeks for it to come in from China, where can you go now to buy a Raspberry Pi if you wanted one right now today, and someone needs to come in and step in and fill this void. Tandy started out as a leather company. Maybe an arts and crafts store will save us again. How many people live near a Michaels or a Joann Fabrics or something like that, where if they had a little DIY section in the back, with some EL lighting so people can sew little EL strips into their things and have LEDs and have little battery packs, you know. I mean, even a Hobby Lobby, you know, although you wouldn't be able to get your fix on a Sunday, you know, but, you know, at least you can go there all the other days, you know. So there's got to be some store out there that, you know, is willing to take a chance on this stuff, because, you know, we don't need someone to sell us, you know, cell phones and, you know, $8 USB cables. You can go to the dollar store for that. But, you know, the dollar store isn't going to have parts, you know, because, you know, it's not going away. I mean, all the kids are doing all this stuff in school, and they have to wait, you know, till the stuff comes in the mail. So that's what I wanted to say. So.
Thanks, Eric. Pass the mic along. Go for it.
Hi, my name is Simone Ruiz, and I make my living working with Linux. I did not make my living working with Linux the first time I came here. I was doing another job and doing Linux related to that, but kind of on the side. So I got involved with the community. That's what I use to educate myself and to get better at those skills. As part of my involvement with the community, I went to my local Linux users group. I participated in mailing lists. I kind of wrote up a blog with some of the solutions I was coming up with to some of the problems that I was having. Sort of as a direct result of all of that, I became aware of my next position, which paid better and gave me a chance to work more with Linux. I was still doing sort of everything at a school, with Linux being a much bigger part of it than at my job before that. I was at that job for about 10 years. This whole time I have tried to remain as active as I could with the community, coming here to Ohio Linux Fest as often as possible. I've only missed a couple of years. I then left that position, and when I started looking for a job, an old friend of mine who I had met at a Linux user group, who I had brought here to Ohio Linux Fest, got a hold of me and said, hey, my company is hiring, you should apply. And I did, and I got a better job that pays more, and I do not have a degree. I do not have any formal training. I learned everything on the job, and I would like to encourage anybody who loves anything. You know, I'm up here at a Linux Fest, so I'm talking about Linux, but whatever it is that you're into, get involved with the community, talk to people about it, publish about it. Just do the thing that you love and do it publicly so that people can see you do it, and suddenly people will start thinking you know what you're doing. And suddenly people will start offering you the opportunity to do it more, and some of those people might offer money for you to do it. Now in particular, I'd like to speak to my fellow people of color and to the ladies, because we need all of the advantages that we can get to make it out there in the world. So that's basically the whole point of me getting up here, just to encourage you to do the things that you love and to do them out in the open so that you're seen doing them. And that has made all of the difference in my life professionally.
Thanks so much.
I'm recognizing a theme. A lot of people are saying just get up and do it. Give back, contribute, participate. That's awesome. If you're an extrovert, introverts might not have that opportunity. They might struggle some more. I'm also hearing a theme that Ohio Linux Fest has been beneficial to a lot of people. So my challenge is to everybody, introvert and extrovert, give back to Ohio Linux Fest. Get involved. Help us help the next wave of people coming out into the world to figure out how to find a career, how to find a passion, how to then help the next people beyond them. We have to keep this going. We can't be the same people at the same conferences every time. We've got to get more faces involved, and the only way we're going to do that is if we get more people helping the conference. So please step up, get involved, and help us.
Thanks, Scott.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm terrified of public speaking. I'm terrified of not public speaking, actually.
Talk into it.
Oh, hi, I'm Chris, and I'm terrified of public speaking, and I'm actually terrified of not public speaking, too, so bear with me here. But we're working on a new Linux distribution. It was originally slated to be a 2-year project. It's probably going to be longer than that to get to alpha. We just need more people. What we're looking for are developers who are entry to mid for C and C++. If that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, we'd love to have you. There's some real smart people on this team we're working with, and they're real nice, too. The core principles for the distribution are we're looking to go for LSP 5 certification and FHS 3 certification. If you're not sure what those mean, you'll get to learn all about them in the project. We're on IRC, and we also have a blog. I don't have a way to put that up, but I will. If you're on Slack, go to the Tech Life Columbus Slack and go into the Linux channel.
You have to have a website. Come on, man. What's your website?
It is linux.silogroup. That's SILO group.org.
Cool. Thanks so much, Chris. Big hand. You don't have an entire 5 minutes, so be quick.
I only need about 60 seconds. This is actually not a presentation. It's a shameless plug for something open source-ish related. A project that I am not personally involved in, but it's a really good cause that I wanted to make sure everybody here is aware of. And that is a project called Girls Who Code. There is an author who has just put out a couple of books. I bought a copy of them. I donated them to my local public library in new condition. They're awesome. This is aimed at approximately middle school aged female students who are possibly have been discouraged by family or society from being, that, well, boys code, girls play with dolls and all that crap. It gets past a lot of those stereotypes and makes coding, an introduction to coding, very fun. The thing about this is, whereas there are a number of small projects that kind of try to make diversity and open source more of a thing, this one in the past couple of weeks has really hit the big time and has caught the attention of some really large media outlets, including people like CNN and even Fox News has mentioned it in passing. If you have a chance, go on Twitter. It's @GirlsWhoCode. Take a look at their Twitter feeds, see what they're up to, and if possible, we've got a big playground here, and we don't have the luxury of wasting 50% of the intelligence of the human species. So let's get on this, guys.
It's a great organization. Thanks, Scott.